And then to be so naive 4 minutes later to concede a goal once you're back into a game against a team that will be difficult to go away against and get a result. To let that second goal in the way in which they did is quite frustrating. And I'm sure the Arsenal players will be frustrated with themselves with that scenario.
Jen and Jackie were saying there were positives to take from that, but going to a place like Lyon, where they have not lost a home game of football in 90 minutes since March 2023, I think. I mean, it's not quite the numbers that you want to see, is it?
No, it's going to be difficult. We know that. Lyon is a world-class outfit, but the margins today were very fine between Arsenal and Lyon. Arsenal, dominated the ball. They had a lot of touches in Lyon's box. The biggest difference is they weren't clinical, and a lot of their own defensive errors led to Lyon being able to capitalise and score.
All right. Well, we're going to get into it a little bit more deeply in just a moment's time. It's full time at the Emirates, but over at the final. But Lyon, this first half, Farah, they just looked more threatening, did they not?
Yeah, I think the first half definitely more threatening. I felt that front three rotation was causing the Arsenal backline a few problems, but I did feel Arsenal stayed in the game. They were creating their own chances, but as you said, the threat and the more dangerous looking team in the first half was Lyon.
Well, Van der Donk, she almost returned to her old club. She just pulled it wide within the first couple of minutes, but there was no mistaking from Diana.
No, I think Lyon had some early warning shots, but this finish from Diani, she only had one thought in her mind, and that was just to hit the target, make it difficult, and it's a clinical finish. And they capitalised off poor positioning from Fox here, the right back, in the situation it plays her on, and also the centre back stepping in, McCabe getting caught up, in sort of no man's land. But this is the know-how of Lyon. They will capitalise on errors just like that.
Arsenal did have their chances in the first half. What was just missing from them?
The ruthlessness that the manager wanted. I think René Slager said before, we need to be ruthless, we need to be clinical. And you'll just see these chances here. The ball comes in, great header back across goal from Beth Mead here. And then Marnham at the back post, she has to hit that on target. And if not, Russo behind has to leave it for Russo. And then here, bit of a more difficult one. Russo backpedaling and is able to execute the header towards goal. But they had plenty more chances in the second half. This one, it just slides through here, ricochet. And then you'd expect Ford to do a little bit better there. She doesn't. And then Marnham gets another big chance. And this is the one this is Beth Mead, just over the crossbar. She just needed to use the pace of the ball as opposed to trying to redirect it. And then I think this is the Marnham one that we're talking about. Just gets her feet all wrong. And in doing that, doesn't quite know what part of the body she wants to use to put in the back of the net. And you've just seen those chances there. Another day they go in the back of the net for Arsenal.
I was going to say, was it also that little bit of luck? I feel like Frida Marnham might think about those chances that she had a little bit tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, sometimes you need a bit of luck, but it's also having the composure to settle yourself in those moments and get your body in the right position to attack the ball and just guide it in the right direction. Like Farah said, using the pace of the ball would have helped her rather than thinking, I'm going to try and make everything happen in those situations.
So second half from Arsenal, what did they change? Was it better in the second half?
I think it was more purposeful. I felt there was a little bit more movement and rotation from their front three. In terms of the wide players, Beth Mead became more central. We saw the header that she had. She stayed a bit wide in the first half and was delivering the balls, but actually it allowed for the fullbacks and Katie McCabe and Fox on the right-hand side to put balls in. What you then seen is more bodies in the box committing to the crosses. So I felt that made it more difficult for Lyon defensively. And the chances were much more clear-cut in the second half for them to score.
Well, it was a penalty that got Arsenal back into this game. And Anita, for you, it was a definite penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Enda here goes to make the challenge. She's trying to punch the ball, but she gets it completely wrong here, mistimes it, and she catches Leah Williamson, on the back of her head. And Leah Williamson didn't even make a fuss about it. But ultimately, once you make contact with the player in the box, it's reckless. She has to time it. She has to, get to the ball. She doesn't. And again, just a lovely composed finish from Caldente, who scored every penalty she's had this season. So definitely the right person to step up in that moment.
Yeah, they did that classic. Chloe Kelly held the ball for quite a long time. We were all going, what? Hang on a minute. But it was handed over. So they got themselves back into it. You're thinking, okay, 1-1. 4 minutes later, though, they concede again. They do not make life easy for themselves, Farah.
They don't, and there was a change because Hegerberg comes into the game at this point, and it's a different situation for centre-halves to deal with. You see Leah Williamson tries to get tight to her, doesn't, but what she does in not making contact with the ball is leaves a gap. You'll see here, clearer picture. Leah goes in, doesn't make enough contact with the ball, leaves a gap between Fox and Catley, and then Demornay. I mean, this is a great finish, not an easy finish, but a really well taken one. And yeah, to be that naive defensively, moments after scoring and getting yourself back into the tie, they'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, Demornay's 20th goal this season, incredible. But you used the word naive there. Was it just naivety and defensive duties there?
Yeah, I think Leah Williamson tried to anticipate where the ball was going to go next. So she's gambled and got in early, left that gap. But you need your teammates as well to correct some of your errors. I think Demornay gets an early run on Fox there, so she has to try and get narrow and track that run all the way in. But again, like I say, the best teams will hurt you in these moments. So those split-second decisions, you have to get right.
Well, Lyon at home, they are very strong. They play 14, 113, only drawn once this season at home. But can Arsenal hold on to the fact they did beat Lyon 5-1, but not in 2022? That's literally the only time it's been. Like, how far back are we reaching for confidence here?
I think they can hold on to the fact, Anita, that they know the margin was close today. They know that they created more than enough chances to come away with a lead in this game. They didn't. On another day, we know those chances Arsenal created today, they will score. So I think that they can take that belief from the game and know that the margin isn't as big as maybe the result looked like. But as you mentioned, Lyon at home are very difficult and they don't lose many games at home.
Yeah, what about fine margins?
It is. And I mean, of course, Arsenal's home record at the Emirates has now been broken by Lyon. But the opposite can also happen for them. They could go there and cause an upset. The good thing is they know they can dominate the ball. Now it's about being intentful and clinical.
All right. Well, it didn't quite go the way that Arsenal wanted today, but as you said, there is every chance it is a two-legged tie, so they will take that back to Lyon and see what they can get done next week.